Gosh, Lego, are you really gonna go out there and make yet another video talking about young prospects that made their teams? Yeah, I am. And gosh, Lego, are you really gonna go out there and start the 2 videos in a row with the same intro? Yeah, okay, I guess I am. Sorry. We just did the same video with the Detroit Red Wings talking about their young guys and how they made the team, but I wanted to expand more on this dude, whom we spoke about yesterday as the Vancouver Canucks surprise rookie to make the team this year. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Braeden Cootes has been such a fun story to follow, and by all accounts, everything he has done to be placed in the National Hockey League at the start of 25-26, a mere months after he was drafted, it's all deserved. Absolutely deserved. He'll get his 9 games. Whether he's good enough to stick beyond that, that's another question for another day. But for now, this young stud is amazing. And we did our celebrating and everything, talking about how we were all wrong about this guy yesterday. But now I wanted to speak a little bit more about some other dudes, other first-rounders from this previous year's draft to make the NHL, because it's not just Braeden Cootes. You know, normally you get yourselves a bunch of guys that make the NHL right away. It's not usually a lot, but maybe it's like 1 or 2. I mean, the past few years have had some. Macklin Celebrini played in his 18-year-old year. Artyom Levshunov was able to play. So did Ivan Demidov. Not to mention, towards the end of the year, you had some other guys there too. Parek, of course, Demidov did get an extended sample after he was released from Russia. Then you had yourself some other dudes in 2023. Connor Bedard, Leo Carlsson, Adam Fantilli. They all played, and they were all pretty good. Zach Benson also made the Buffalo Sabres at 13th overall. So that was kind of what we're seeing out of Braeden Cootes now. But ultimately, when you take a look at players that are drafted in the first round, to see this amount of guys actually make the team, it's quite astounding. And Big Head Hockey has all of them listed out here in a tweet. 2025 NHL Draft picks that are in the league. First overall, the Islanders' Matthew Schaefer. No surprise there. Second overall, the San Jose Sharks' Michael Misa. Debate whether or not he's actually worth it to be in the NHL at this time, but it seems like the Sharks want to use him and they want to play him with Celebrini and Smith, so there you go. Fifth overall, you've got Nashville's Brady Martin. 11th overall, you've got Pittsburgh's Ben Kindel. And then 15th overall, you have Vancouver's Braeden Cootes. Big Head Hockey says this is the most D+1 rookies out of training camp since 2019. Now, as we had spoken about last year, Demidov, okay, he did play, but he was towards the end of the year, not during training camp. Same thing could be said about Zane Parek. So maybe from last year, it was only really 1? Macklin Celebrini, if you wanted to include Levshunov, maybe he's in there too, who really knows? Jet Luchenko had a little bit of time. But ultimately, this is a really big deal for rookies in the league. But I also wanted to talk about this guy. Don't worry, we'll get back to Braeden Cootes in a second, but I wanted to give some props to Brady Martin, who was drafted by the Nashville Predators in the 5th overall spot, 6 feet 187, a right-handed center, who is listed by Elite Prospects in their draft guide as a player with the shades of Sam Bennett. He kind of has that physical edge to his game, he's good at scoring, he's tough, he's a heavy hitter. When Martin gets ahead of steam, he looks unstoppable. He weaves through the neutral zone, alternating between holding the puck deep in his hip pocket and perfectly timed pushes through sticks and feet. With a seemingly bottomless bag of tricks, he regularly makes the flashy look easy. He's a destructive force. He's uniquely heavy and a frequent hitter, slamming opponents into the wall and throwing them to the ice before chasing down his next victim. He battles hard, proactively wins inside position, lands heavy reverse hits, and keeps that energy in the defensive zone. Now, the interesting thing about Brady Martin, aside the fact that he was over a point per game in the OHL last season, and he was over a point per game for Team Canada at the U18s, is the fact that he did make the Nashville Predators, but also the fact that he's listed right now as their first-line center. Oh my gosh, look at this! Brady Martin is Nashville's number 1C. He might have been thinking the entire time, Lego, what the hell are you doing talking about a 5th overall guy in this video talking about Braeden Cootes? We gotta give some acknowledgement to Brady Martin. Braeden Cootes might have made the Vancouver Canucks as a surprise entrance, but Brady Martin is going to be their number one guy, above Fyodor Svechkov, above Eric Haula, and Michael McCarron. World Hockey Report says nothing against Martin, but this is probably the worst group of centers in the league. Okay, we're not going to go out there and immediately address that. I mean, you think about the way this team is assembled. You've got Ryan O'Reilly as the listed first-line right wing, Steven Stamkos listed as the second-line left wing. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? You got O'Reilly and Stamkos, yet Brady Martin is being listed as your first-line center. And Alex Doherty, who goes out there and reports on the Predators, he's a beat reporter for the Tennessean, literally saying that this guy's going to be the number one center for the Nashville Predators at their home opener. That's wild. Not Minnesota wild, but Nashville wild. This might be the first time we have seen a young guy take the reins as a first-line center upon being drafted. That wasn't drafted first overall, by the way, in years. Like, spare me the details as to how Austin Matthews and Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid all became first-line players in their first season. Okay, that's fine. Brady Martin was not taken first, he was taken fifth, and now he's a number one center for one of the admittedly worst teams in the NHL? Okay, Nashville's not that bad. They were good just 2 seasons ago. They made the playoffs and they were doing very well, and O'Reilly was a monster there. Hi. Brady Martin is going to be centering O'Reilly and Forsberg. That is such an accomplishment for this young CHL to NHL player. But let's shift our gears back over to Braeden Cootes for a little bit. There you go. That's the sell on Brady Martin and what's going on with him. Let's head over to what Ian McIntyre wrote about yesterday evening in regards to Braeden Cootes and how he headlines an impressive youth movement on the Vancouver Canucks opening night roster. Of course, Elias Pettersson, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, Arshdeep Bains also on the Canucks opening night roster, but Braeden Cootes is a very rare breed because he's the first guy in 35 years to help out the Vancouver Canucks as an 18-year-old. No one expected this of Cootes except for, perhaps, him. Obviously, you have that confidence in the back of your head that you can make it. Anytime you go into a camp, you're not just going there to get experience. That's not my mindset. I'm a competitive person. Anytime I go to a tryout or anything like that, I want to make the team. The article talks about how you have JT Miller, who ended up getting traded, and Pius Suter left as a free agent in July, so there was an organizational will and ways for the young players to make it. But nobody expected when training camp opened on September 18th that Cootes would be leading a stampede of 6 prospects onto the roster. No, probably not, Alvin said. Asked how this transpired, Alvin said he scouted Cootes at the U18s in May, where the speedy center captained Canada's gold medal team, and was amazed at the progress he had made by July when the Canucks staged their rookie development camp. Obviously, he prepared himself really well this summer, and we were aware of his character and his drive and all the off-ice side stuff with him as a player, but I think he just dedicated himself. He just seemed to absorb information and kept getting better, learning how to practice and playing with pace, understanding how we want to play, and the coaches have been really impressed with his coachability. He's definitely earned this. Connor Garland said, I can't believe how good Cootes is. To get him in the middle of the first round, you don't see many guys that can come in and make the team with a first camp like that. Now, IMAC does a really good job at talking about all the other stuff in regards to young guys like Lekkerimäki, Elias Pettersson, Mancini, Villander sent down, Arshdeep Bains also was over there too. Cootes is just making the journey faster than any Canuck has made the journey in the last 35 years. Bigger picture, what's the best for Braeden here, Alvin said. I think that's no different than what we've been talking about. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about him just getting a first preseason game in Seattle. From there, he just continued to earn another opportunity. So, hey, he might not be Braeden Martin, he may not be a first-line center, but Braeden Cootes is doing something no Canuck has done in 35 years, and is doing so from the bright old drafting spot of 15th overall. Who would have expected this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all of these guys. Brady Martin and his first-line center prosperity in Nashville. Braeden Cootes and his 15th overall draft position with Vancouver. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, the dislike button's down there for you as well. Comments help out with the algorithm, so I appreciate those a ton. Let me know in the comments all your opinions about these players. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.